Well, we're Christians and we're talking about sex. Sex.
Oh my gosh, I already know that on the video that was an epic moment.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Obviously, we're excited for today's video. I know that
This is PG-13.
no more. Well,
You alright there, bud?
no. Okay, yes and no, because we're not gonna get like all detailed. And
Well,
stuff.
for you that are 12-year-old,
This is for married people, so
12-year-old,
when
get
we
off of here.
upload this, it's gonna say no, it's not made for kids.
Your discretion is advised.
Anyways, welcome back to the Tourney Journey, guys.
If you're a Christian and you're single, you can watch this video. If you're married, you
Yes.
can watch this video. But if you're 12 years old and your parents aren't around, you don't need to know about this stuff. Unless they have the birds and the bees talks with you, but
Hopefully they gave you YouTube Kids and you can't even watch this. But anyways, hope you guys are doing well. We're excited to talk about this today. We're talking about sex and marriage. And I know this can be a really, really uncomfortable topic for people. But I also think that the world talks about this way more than Christians do. And they obviously, shed a darkness over it. The enemy wants to use it for bad things. But God created sex, and it's a powerful thing because it kind of like we talk about with anything in marriage being an example of Christ in the church. Sex is one of those things too because it's intimacy, and we're to be intimate with Him too.
he just tries to pervert everything. That's all. But sex, God created sex for us to enjoy. And
So we're going to talk about
let's
it
get
today.
into it.
So we're going to go with this from the premise of, I just feel like I'm going to share like my greatest tip for men, for Christian husbands. And then my wife is going to share her greatest tip for Christian women, Christian wives. And
Even if you're not a Christian, you're watching this advice is very helpful for anybody.
And a lot of times, we might here and there share like our opinions on things, but we try our best to just go straight to the Word of God and see what it says. So without further ado, we're going to hop right in. So I'm just first going to ask you, Clarissa, if there's a woman watching who is yet to be married or is married, beginning married, been married for a long time, what would your number one piece of advice for them be? Because just real quick disclaimer, guys, we're going to make this video short because this is a very, very large topic that we're going to make more videos on. But we just felt led to like just share some of our best tips with you guys for just kind of start this conversation out. So definitely leave a comment as you like and subscribe. Gotta put that in there. But anyways, leave a comment and let us know like other kind of subtopics on sex that you guys want us to talk about, because it's obviously a massive, massive conversation to be had. So back to the question. What is your number one
Bro, what is this guy doing?
What is your number one piece of advice for women in marriage when it comes to sex?
My number one piece of advice would be to set your expectations, but don't set them way too high above your husband's head. If your expectations are up here, they need to be right here. Okay? Because
I think I know what you're going with this, but please explain.
okay. So this is a topic that we're talking about. Okay, sex.
Yes.
All right? All right?
I think even we're a little uncomfortable.
Well, we're going to talk about it because it needs to be talked about. And it's something that, like he said, it's something that the church doesn't talk about in their...
As much as
and
the
there's
world.
a lot of shame around it because maybe the past, I don't know, maybe they look... A lot of people look at it as something that is gross or disgusting, but it's not. It's beautiful. Yeah. So I would say set your expectations, but don't set them too high, as in it's not going to be perfect in the beginning of your marriage. Sex isn't going to be as good as it's going to be 3 years from your marriage when you first get married. So what I would say is a lot of times when you're having sex in the beginning, you might not climax
Oh, what my goodness. Did you hear what she just said?
on the first night or maybe even the first 2 weeks, but let your husband know your needs and express those needs to him, because you need, those expectations still need to be there. You still need to expect for things to get better and better. But just to not put so much pressure on him, especially if you two haven't had these conversations. I think that it's really healthy to have those conversations before you're married in the realm of counseling. We didn't do that. There are a lot of things we didn't do that we wish we did when it comes to that, like boundaries and all of that, and like kissing before marriage, but we'll get into those topics later on. But ladies, I would just say the expectations, let them be there, but not too high.
That's really, really awesome. So that actually perfectly leads me into my top piece of advice for men, because you kind of touched on it a little bit, but my top piece of advice for men in marriage would be selflessness. And the reason that I say that is because as men, we can be very, very sensually driven, very physically driven. And I think that, and again, we'll share this stuff later on down the road too, but especially at the beginning of your marriage, it can be so easy to get in this pattern of not recognizing your wife's needs just as much as, because like she said, a woman's body is very different, and you enter their heart by entering their mind, you enter their body by entering their mind, and their most sexual organ is their brain. You know, for a man, it's like, let's just go.
Okay, so a woman is a slow cooker.
Yeah, and a man's a microwave. We've heard that before, right?
You have to warm her up a lot.
Yeah, and so my greatest piece of advice on this being selflessness is because you get to have your greatest moments together sexually and intimately when you are both being loved. And so it's not just just like a one-man show. It's not just, it's both of you intentionally pursuing health in your sexual life together. And so when it comes to selflessness with a man, it's super, super easy for a guy to be so focused on how he's feeling rather than focusing on the needs of his wife in the midst of those things. So I think that a great tip on how to be selfless in your sex life with your wife is recognizing where the Bible says love is patient, because it's a matter of denying our flesh, and it's a matter of worrying about and caring for our wife before we feel like all of our needs to be met, and our needs need to be met.
I like it when you talk about this stuff because you're so sweet.
and I know that men, obviously, you need your needs met too, but it's really easy to meet your needs. so I'll leave that there. But I
would say also, men, I know that we're talking about, you told me to give advice. You told me to give advice to women, but I want to say to men, even if it takes you an hour to figure out your wife, just do it.
And that's really good too.
Take your time.
That's really good too, because we always want to emphasize this, and we probably will a lot in these videos that we talk about intimacy. But you guys have the rest of your life to discover each other and figure each other out and grow in your life together in this way.
What do you think he can do to figure out how to please her?
You throw your questions out in the middle of nowhere. It catches me off guard every single time.
It's okay. It's natural.
It's natural.
It's organic. And non-GMO.
I can't believe it's not butter. I have no idea what's happening. Okay, so what was your question?
My question was, what would you give the guys on advice when it comes to how to please her?
Well, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is being patient with yourself, just as you're being patient with her, and asking questions. Because I think that, like she said in the beginning, it can feel kind of like an icky topic, or you kind of want to feel hidden or drawn away. But opening up communication around that is the best way to figure
Ladies,
your life out.
let him know what you like and don't like, and be open with each other about what you like and don't like, I would say.
Yeah. So, that's been healing for our marriage, because at the beginning we would be scared to share what our needs were or talk about sex, even say the word sex.
Sex.
Okay, that's too much. Anyways, I apologize for my wife's behavior.
I'm not sorry. But also another thing I would say, I've said this before, but initiate sex, ladies. Your man wants to be pursued just as much as you want him to pursue you. So just Just open up and just go for it. If If he gets home from work, grab him by the tie and sit him down in a chair.
I can only imagine what's going through that man's mind.
Okay. Well, that is going to cut it short here. That was our quickie on sex. No pun intended.
That was cheesy.
That was messed up. All right. Well, anyways. All right, guys. Anyways, we wanted to open this topic up. This is obviously super quick, short video on some of our tips. Mine is going to be for you men. Be selfless. Know that love is patient. Be patient with yourself too. But open up in communication with your wife. Recognize what she needs and recognize that you have needs as well. Clarissa, summarize yours with... what was the word? Expectations.
Okay, so I expect you to stop acting a fool. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
So I would just say my summary for expectations is have expectations, but don't set them way too high.
Yeah, especially starting out. So
Yes.
we know this was a quick one, guys, but
Sex will get better.
we're going to talk about this a lot more in depth on specific topics within sex. So we'll talk about that later with you guys. Make sure you subscribe. We hope that you guys are loving the videos. We're loving making them.
We also
We're
have
making them even when we feel like not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we
Because
also
wanna
have
get this out there.
we
for
have
you
an
guys.
Instagram now, so
Oh
we'll
yeah,
be
go
more
like us and
engaged.
follow us on Instagram. I always forget to mention that.
We're gonna have to put that on our outro
Yes.
little thing.
She always does a good job of keeping up with the Instagram because I don't.
It's okay. We'll get it.
But we got this going. So love you guys and we'll see you next time.